video is to allow you to correct your homework for section 7.2.3. The problems are 764 through 768. So again, without using a calculator, meaning make sure you show your work, you need to find these quotients. So what you should do first is we need to have them set up as a fraction divided by a fraction. Right now we have a mixed number divided by a mixed number. So 4 1/3 would change to 13 thirds. Again, that's taking the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator, putting it over the denominator. That should be in your workbook. And then for the second one, that would be 7/6. Once you do the rewrite of those as improper fractions, now we can set it up with our keep, change, flip. So we would keep our 13 thirds as it is. We would change division to multiplication, and we would flip our second fraction. So instead of being 7/6, it'd be 6/7. You could simplify the 6 and 3 by dividing them both by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then multiply across. You get 26/7. But again, we can't leave our answer that way. It's improper. So we change it to 3 5/7. For the second one, you could divide it with long division. You could make it 8 600 divided by 2 4800. You would not want to leave your answer as 2 4800. However, you not want to leave your divisor as 2 4800. So you need to move your decimal point 2 places to the right in your divisor and 2 places to the right in your dividend. So you end up then dividing 806 by 248. And remember, the decimal point is now here and would go up here in the quotient as well. And if you do it that way, you end up getting 3 2500. Another way you could do it is to change it to basically fractions. So you could make this 8 600, which is 800 600, divided by 200 4800. And you could do your keep, change, flip and work with some simplifying to also figure out the answer. And then for this last one, so you don't have to do both methods, one or the other is fine. And for this last one, you would change it again first to improper fractions. So 17/5 divided by 13/10. Then do your keep, change, flip. Simplify, then multiply, or multiply, then simplify. You get 34/13, which is 2 8/13. Again, you may want to pause the video to make sure that you have adequate work shown. For the multiplicative inverse of each of these, that is the same again as the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 7/8 is 8/7. In order to find the reciprocal of this, you're going to need to first change it to an improper fraction. So 5/3, and then you can flip it 3/5. Here you could change it to 1 5/10 or 1 1/2, then change it to an improper fraction, then do the flip. You end up getting 2/3, because this one it's simplified as 3/2. This could be changed to 2500 or 1/4 before you flip it, which then means the reciprocal is 4. Again, here you needed to complete the entire table. So you may want to again pause the video to make sure that you can get the information down that you need. But when you take 1 4/10 over 7/10, since we don't want a decimal within a fraction, we multiply by 10/10, which means we now have 14 divided by 7. So that gives you this correct rewrite, 14 divided by 7, which means the answer is 2. Here, again, we do not want to divide by 13 thousandths. First of all, we don't want a decimal within our fraction, but also when we do long division, we don't want it that way either. So we multiply by 1,000 over 1,000, and then you get 520,000 divided by 13. So again, moving your decimal 3 places to the right in both values. When you divide that, you get 40,000. Here we have 8 and 2 tenths divided by 4 tenths. How do we clear out the decimal? We'd multiply by 10 over 10. So the missing part here should be 10 over 10. And that would replace the question mark over question mark. This is your giant 1, basically, which gives you 82 divided by 4, which gives you 20 and a half, or 20 and 5 tenths. Here, they've left all of this free to do. So this would be 2 hundredths divided by 5 thousandths, or you can think of it as a fraction. Either way, you'd multiply by 1,000, both top and bottom, which gives you 20 divided by 5. Again, moving over 3 decimal places in both, which of course is 4. And for this last one, you have 10 and 5 hundredths divided by 25 hundredths. You'd multiply by 100 top and bottom, which gives you 1,005 divided by 25, which is 40 and 2 tenths. So there was quite a lot of answers that needed to be filled in this chart. For 767, 2/3 times 2/5 would give you 4/15. For this one, I would simplify the 7s first, and I would also simplify the 2 and 10. They can both be divided by 2, and then multiply across. So you get 1/5. For this third one, you need to show that you first change them to improper fractions. So 7 over 3 times 5 over 2, and then multiply across, you get 35/6, which is 5 and 5/6. This one should also be changed to improper fractions first, 4/3 times 13/6. Simplify, then multiply, you get 26/9, which is 2 and 8/9. Here you should show your multiplication. So show the long multiplication, so to speak. Multiply as though they're whole numbers, and then place your decimal point at the end, 3 decimal places in. So 12 and 195 thousandths. And here, 35 times 7, you can multiply those as though those are whole numbers again, and then you'll need to have the correct number of decimal places from the back, which gives you this answer right here. So basically, you have 3 zeros behind the decimal point, and then 2, 4, and 5. For 768, you have to predict the number of miles the car could travel with 3 gallons of gas. But based on what they've shown us, if we come across to 3 gallons of gas, the question is, where would that hit? We can basically sort of imagine or create for ourselves the line, and we see that it would hit right here. So the answer then would be 100 miles, or about 100 miles. And then if we were looking at 5 gallons of gas, we'd be coming up here. And so that would be about 150. Now you might say, okay, why is that not closer to 150? Well, probably because I didn't draw that very straight. And also my line is a little bit off, because it really should have gone through 0, 0 more correctly. This is why, even though it only takes 2 points to make a line, you get more accurate results if you do more than 2 points. So about 150.